And let's see, are we live yet?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Magic Hour with Anna Stone.
Hi.
So, PhD MSMA. I mean, let's talk about that for a second, Ms. Anna Stone, or should I say Dr. Anna Stone?
Doctor. Yeah, I know. I think I'll continue just being, I mean, I don't know.
You don't
It's a
know
lot
yet.
of choices. There's choices for me right
That's
now.
wonderful. And
yeah.
I'm Stephanie Siren, Reverend Stephanie Siren. And tonight we are talking about what, Anna?
We're going to be talking about mystery schools because I know a lot of you guys, gauging by the comments that we get on our live streams, a lot of you guys are, don't know where to go, like how to meet other people that are part of the community that are more spiritual. So now that I've joined a few myself and I have been a member of one, I'm not going to say which one specifically because this is they're secret, right? But we're going to talk about them.
It's a secret society, right?
It is secret society, and not everybody will get in. Like it is one of those things where you have to be selected or initiated, but it's a way to meet other like-minded people. And if you find one that's in your community, and most of them have branch chapters within your city, you've probably driven by them 100 times and didn't even notice, or maybe you've wondered, what's that building? Right?
Right. It's very inconspicuous, though, too.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to know what you're
like Freemason Lodge.
Right.
It would be like that kind of vibe, right? But so we wanted to discuss that with you guys tonight. And then also we're going to touch up on some authors of books that would help further anyone's studies into the occult and the esoteric, if that's something that you're interested in, right?
Right. And I think it's also worth saying that a lot of it coincides, like a lot of the mystery schools all kind of have the same thing. We're all going towards the same thing. It's just many different paths. Like which one is right for you?
Right. So, and that's something. So I think that, in this hi Maggie, hi everybody.
Hi everyone.
I think that in this regard, like our differences here are helpful to you guys because I'm more of the traditional, like ancient stuff, right? And Stephanie has more knowledge and practice with more of what some might call new age practices, correct? Am I saying that right?
Right. Okay. The things that you might be more familiar with right now, that's super hot right now, that we've seen a resurgence of from like the 60s and 70s, right? So like that's the stuff that I am more familiar with. Right. I have learned Hermetic studies and I have been to mystery school that was about Hermeticism.
Right.
So
those all stem from the ancient, right? Like all of that comes
to
people's interpretations of that, right?
Its roots are ancient mysteries, but it's packaged differently.
Yeah. So it's like interpretation. So first of all, like what are we talking about? We say mystery schools. What are we talking about?
Oh, that's a good question. So when we talk about mystery schools, quite literally, guys, it's Hogwarts, but it's not.
With adults.
It is, but for adults, and it's where you find your vibration on this path. I think really like it's where you start, though. I don't feel like it's a finishing thing. I think that's the very beginning.
Well, really. I think at the beginning, maybe for New Age, right? That might be a little bit easier for New Age practices to get in, but like for ancient order, like you have to already know what you're talking about to get in. Like they are not going to let you in if you're a noob.
Right. I don't mean it like that. I mean it like as in this, as someone who's been on this path for many, many, many years and my whole adult life, right? I feel things started for me on my spiritual path a lot more once I was initiated and went to mystery school. Because before that, I guess it was a refining almost like like a, okay, you're not ready for the world yet kind of thing with all this stuff that you're doing. You need refinement. That's
Right.
how I felt.
Right.
Because all of it's innately in us anyway, but like it's like they have to teach you
Right.
the Anna, what would you say, like the rules for
Right.
relating in magic.
So,
The
right.
rules.
Ooh, wait, you're freezing.
What
What, you
am I?
froze? Yeah, you did for
I
a second.
did?
Uh-huh.
Oh
I mean, I
no.
don't know if it's just on my end. Maybe it was my computer that froze.
No, it's
Sorry, but
giving
either
me a
way,
low bandwidth thing. It's
okay.
being lame right now. Can
Okay,
you
close any other
understand
windows you
me?
have open. Um, yeah, so let me just first of all, let me give you guys some names, okay? So this might help you understand what we're talking about, all right? So I'm sure all of you have heard of Freemasons, right? Okay, well, that would be a mystery school, right? But that's more of a, it is a mystery school. It is, but it's not as, it's much more mainstream now. And so it has lost a lot of its magical roots to it. And I am a member of OES. So, and I have been for 9 years now. And that's because I got literally grandfathered in because my grandfather was a master mason up at the Lomitas Lodge in Northern California. And so I got grandfathered in. I was expecting to learn things and be like blown away by secrets, and nope, like it was absolutely like not that. So, and while I am still a member, I haven't gone to a lodge meeting in a very long time because it's just not what I was hoping for. But the affiliation is always good, right? But anyone that says that they're doing like satanic stuff, it's like, okay, where? Please show me. Cause like I literally was like looking for some scandalous stuff and it wasn't happening. So like, okay. So let me give
No,
you
it's
a
more
couple names.
ritualistic and ceremonial. It's
Right.
more
The
about
initiation was
honoring.
crazy. I'm not allowed
Yeah,
to talk about it and I would never, but like
right.
it
You
was quite
cannot.
concerning. Like I was very I didn't know what the hell. I was like, what did I just do? Like, yeah, but it was yeah. So that got me hooked. Like, and then it was like, oh, potlucks and fundraisers, cool, and that's great because we raise money for sick children. That's great, but like, I wanted more. So let me give you some names of mystery schools. Okay, so first one is the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. You guys all know the Golden Dawn, right? That's Aleister Crowley's old deal.
Right.
But like a lot of
That's also based on Hermeticism.
right. Well, it's by Mathers, right? Like yeah, Mathers, who reinterpreted all of the Agrippa and stuff texts, like ancient texts, right? And that's his take on it. Then Crowley came and kind of went a little crazy with the sex stuff, and like then Thelema was established, which is another offshoot of the Golden Dawn. Then there's the Builders of the Adytum, or the BOTA, BOTA. That one is founded by Paul Foster Case. And so let me say the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. They focus. They're founded late 19th century, and it's still very prevalent in the society. And it focuses on Kabbalah, but not Jewish Kabbalah, on Hermetic Kabbalah. So that's different. Astrology, tarot, alchemy, and Hermetic philosophy, right? Then the Boda one, the Builders of the Adytum, they teach mystical and esoteric interpretations of the Holy Kabbalah, so the Jewish Kabbalah, and sacred tarot and alchemy. Okay. Then there's the Rosicrucian Order, or MORC, and that's the ancient mystical order Rose Cruz, and this is one of the most well-known mystery schools available, and it focuses on spiritual enlightenment and inner development through lessons and practices in your local temple, right? So, and then we have the Theosophical Society. Blavatsky founded this. I'm not down with it. It has associations with people from World War II. I don't want to talk about, like those kind of people,
Right.
race problems.
Yeah.
Crazy. So I'm not about that personally, but like, hey, you do you.
Right.
Servants of the Light, or Soul, SOL. That's a modern day. This is modern day one. This is newer.
Yes. This is a neo.
This is Dolores Ashcroft Nowicki. And this is, again, it's practical occultism and esotericism. And then there's the Martinist order, and that's Christian mysticism. So this is not just for like witchcraft stuff, or it's not even witchcraft actually. This is not. It's esoteric and hermetics. Like this is not even considered witchcraft. Like it's even though it literally is, but like it isn't. So
It's
there's
not, it's
Christian versions.
ceremonial magic
Yeah.
is what it
Like the
is.
Catholic Church engages in this all the time when they do
Right.
communion and mass, like they're doing ritual.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, so there's a
That's why
Christian
it's
sect.
such an easier move from Catholicism to witchcraft. I'm
Oh, it is.
serious
Yeah,
too.
because it is.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. I mean, it's witchcraft is just a name that was given to exactly the same stuff that religious people do, except for you take away
Yeah.
the religious dogma, and now it's called witchcraft. Like so. Um, then there's the Fraternity of the Hidden Light or the Flow. And this is an Aquarian Age mystery school that teaches sacred mysteries in the Western esoteric tradition. The Order of the Temple of Astarte, and that ceremonial magic group based in California. And again, this is, and then there's the Fellowship of Isis. So those are like the biggest ones. There's many others, but like that's what they are.
Shoots.
They're
Yeah.
mystery schools.
Right.
Oh, hi, Barbie. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming and
Yes.
hanging
Hi,
out.
welcome everyone. Does anyone have questions about mystery schools as we talk
Yeah,
about them? We'd love to hear
yeah,
from you guys in the chat. If you've ever heard of this or if you've ever thought about mystery school or what your experiences are, maybe since your spiritual awakening, knowing that there is more
right,
and you need to learn more,
right.
right? So, like,
Yeah,
how do you know the callings maybe that it's time for you to go to a mystery school,
right.
Anna?
So most of them are going to be online right now, right? And yes, I do. I belong to 3 right now. But I'm not going to say which ones. But yeah. And I'll say this though, like you can go online and look up the websites, right? And again, I'll put them in the chat in a minute. And then they have dues that are, like fees, membership dues. They're like $15 a month, $18 a month, something like that. And then they'll mail you like, the lessons, and you have to do like the stuff yourself, like initiate things following their, like protocols, whatever. But then they also have in person, if you live in a city where they have an actual chapter, which I live in Los
Mhm.
Angeles, so therefore all of them do. And you can go in person to Sunday service, which is like church, right? Except for it's that
Right?
instead of church. So I did that
But
last week,
it
and
is like church,
it is. Oh my
absolutely.
God. We sang and like we did, it was all that. Like it was exactly, but it's the
Right.
topics are different. Like the topics are, and it's so powerful. Like I'm gonna say, it's very sacred feeling in there. Like it really is, and the amount of energy is palpable. It's just like if you're religious and you go to church, how you feel, right? It's the same,
Right.
but it's
I
different.
mean, yeah, well, you're talking about a service where, right? Like, but it
Yeah.
does lead to mystery school. Like, just like
No,
when
the
you
service
go,
is from the mystery school. They hold
oh,
them.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They all do. Yeah. They hold them like every Sunday or Saturday, and then like and then they also have special events that are open. So these are open to the public, guys. This is the key. If you want to check them out, you have to look and see what they have available. Like Meetup, that website Meetup, go search on Meetup Esoteric or occult, and then you'll see what's in your area. That's how I found them. And then I went to a couple of the open to the public events, and I met the people that were there, and I was like, right on. Yes, finally, and I joined. So, and you
That's
do
how
have
I
to be
felt
accepted.
too.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can petition
that's
for
how I felt
membership.
too. Post initiation, like right after my initiation, never had felt like I belonged anywhere until then.
Yeah,
And it was like everything in my life that led up to that moment made sense.
right.
And I
Yeah,
think that's the super important part when you're on this path and you find the right place. It just feels like, oh, oh, I belong. Like this is a home
yeah.
vibration.
Well, it's like, yeah, it's like, you know, I, you, so I've been a solitary practitioner my entire life since I was practicing at 12. So that's a long, it's like what, 33 years, right? So I've been by myself, and then I mean, of course, like Stephanie and I have it on, we do online stuff together, because we live in different cities, right?
Oh, we do in person too,
But
though.
I mean, yeah, when we see each other, right? But that's like not that often, right? So I'm mostly, 99% of my time has been solitary. And that's all well and good. But there is a time where you need to actually be kind of taught by, other. It's not like they're not teaching me anything I don't already know. That's well, some of it might be the nuanced stuff of it might be new, but what I'm
Right.
saying is that they're teaching us like how to properly focus things or what the symbolism is in certain things. And like
It's a formality is what
mhm,
it is. It's a
mhm,
formality. It's like, okay, so you take like the shamanistic stuff, right? Like the animism and the
right.
shamanism and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And that's more of a innate
Yeah, that's
um magic, like teaching you how to harness it in a different way, right? That's more of a handed
that's a
down
family like yeah, that's handed down
culture.
from families, right?
Right, right.
Yeah.
And so you guys will come across that. But what we're talking about is more of a formal setting as far as learning
Yeah.
goes. About
Ceremonial magic,
it's
ritual.
a like a religious study,
Mhm,
because like you'll see a lot of people online. Let's talk about this too, Anna, because we should. You'll
mhm.
see a lot of in the spiritual world, you'll see a lot of MLMs, right? Multi-level marketing. You'll see a
Ugh,
lot of people selling their program or
yeah.
calling it a mystery
Oh, no, no,
school.
no. No, no, no. That is not it. Yeah.
It's
Well,
not
thank
the
you for
thing.
bringing this up. Thank you.
It's
Okay.
not
Yeah.
the thing. And so, like, when I'm actually doing okay, because guys, I am a pagan priestess, okay, here locally in Fresno, California.
Yep.
And I run ceremony for all
At
the
an actual
Sabbath
church.
at an actual church,
Yep.
the Unitarian Universalist Church, which also does have offshoots of paganism. They do have different sects of paganism that do fit into the Unitarian Universalist Church, and there are actually many chapters of us.
Mhm.
But the difference is, and I've had people come and tell me this, they said, I have friends who are like, oh, feel this crystal or do this or do that. And they're like, I feel nothing. And then I go to your ceremony and I step into your sacred circle and I feel it. It's palpable. And I'd like to say that that is definitely the difference between non initiated and initiated. Because before you're formally initiated, you're a little kid playing a game with rocks. I'm sorry to say that, but it's true.
I mean, what do you like initiated into what though? Like, what do you mean?
Like I'm sorry, hold on. Whitney, my dog is being insane. 1 second.
Yeah. Dogs.
Oh Lord, she thinks she's just, she's in charge back here.
Yeah.
So
You are in her
it's
on her turf.
right, right, right. But like I'm saying, like activations, energetic activations are the same as initiations, and they unlock keys in our DNA. They unlock something in it
Oh,
click
you're cutting out.
with energies that be.
Can't hear you.
Did I cut out?
Yep. Yep, you're cutting out, girl.
Okay, can you hear me?
You're like a robot. You're like phasing in and out. Okay. So we're having technical difficulties as usual. It is
Can you hear me now?
Pluto's in retrograde for the first time in our lifetimes right now. Maybe that's why. I don't know. That doesn't mean anything. That's a bunch of bullshit. like Stephanie. That's funny.
It
Okay.
is
Close any other
hilarious.
windows you got. Yeah. So you guys definitely you don't want to pay. So yeah, we're not talking about mystery schools, or we're not talking about the ones that cost money like $2,000 or something. That's crazy. Okay, that's crazy. We're talking about the legit ones that are like, if you have the calling to do it, they're going to be there to teach you. Provided that you apply and do the things that they have you do. And nothing's crazy. There's nothing crazy. I can vouch for this. There's no crazy. There's no selling your soul pact. Any of that. None of that. Like alarmist religious rhetoric. Not true. It's all about harnessing your own and like power, and it's quantum physics based, actually, surprisingly. And it's crazy
Yeah.
because these orders that started in ancient Egypt and Middle Ages time too, these orders knew about this stuff before it was actually called quantum physics, right? Like literally they've known about it. We've known about this stuff for a very long time, it would appear. We can find reference to it dating very far back. Okay. So I'm saying, like, if you guys are looking for community and you're looking for a way to enhance your understanding of the esoteric or the occult, then try checking out your local mystery school
Can you
chapter
hear me
might be.
now?
Yes.
Okay, I think I fixed the situation.
Okay, good.
I think,
Okay.
guys, I'm going to have a whole new setup over here pretty soon. I've just been out in the dark ages with my internet for some stupid reason, and I'm getting up to speed.
You're in Fresno. It's like, so vortex of the. Okay, sorry. But yeah, so a mystery school might be a way for you to find the community you're looking for. When I went this last 2 Sundays, I met some people, and they're from all ages. Like there's people that are in their 80s, and it's crazy. Like I gotta say, I love this part. I walk in and I see like Karen from admin over there, with the freaking hair, the bob cut, and like the glasses that straight up looks like someone's like aunt, or like the lady's gonna come bitch at you about your parking space. I don't know, like some lady that's just gonna like be a pain in the ass. And then she's up there with the censor sage in the place, and I'm like, right on. These are people you would never in a million years expect to see there. And then there's people that absolutely look like they would be there, right? So it kind of opened my eyes, because I forget sometimes, because when you go and you're around like witchcraft people, those people all kind of fit a vibe, right? You know what I mean? Like typically speaking,
they absolutely do. Like the people that attend my ceremonies, you absolutely go, oh, yeah. I have very few that look, but I do get a few of like community, like grandmas, and I recently had someone thank me for the work that I'm doing, because she said, I came to honor my dead at one of your ceremonies, and we didn't have a funeral because they passed away during COVID. And she said, I wouldn't want like a certain religious funeral. She goes, that's been offered. She goes, but I wanted to come and attend what you were doing because that was more close to my heart.
Right.
So she had like tears in her eyes and was hugging me. And I just felt so good that I could fulfill that need in our community.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, this is in no way, and none of these schools, I believe, I can only speak for the 3 that I'm in, and I can't say, I'm not going to say which ones they are, because it's a secret thing. So these are secret societies. They are, in that, like, they're not out there advertising. Okay, that's what it means. Like, they're not out, like, putting ads out about this stuff. Okay, that's not what happens. So, oh, thank you. I really appreciate that, Marisol. Yeah, like we want that's exactly the goal. So thank you for that. Like we try to like talk about the things that are bullshit, because it does at the end of the day it harms the entire practice for everybody, right? When we have people that are espousing mistruths or half truths, or making up, just flat out making up stuff.
Right, or this neo spirituality stuff where they call it a mystery school, and it's just, it's not based on anything but like, and I'm gonna fluff some feathers. I'm gonna ruffle some feathers, but I think you'll agree with me on this one.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of the neo spirituality movement that came out of COVID was just the housewives' answer to Tupperware parties.
Yeah. No, I'm not. Why would I? Yeah. So it's a virtue signal.
Totally. And I've told people before, I'm like, be careful what you wish for, because when you jump into the void, that's it. Like, like you can't, this is not cutesy. This is not fun. This is not
no.
Sorry, guys. This is not a fucking aesthetic. Okay.
No, it's, I mean, for some people it is. And that's
right.
Yeah.
And I may look a certain way, but I live the life. Right. And I just look that way because I live the life. And you can actually look at like my appearance and Anna's appearance, and that's something else that we should talk about too. And your appearance actually changes after your initiation.
Yeah. So I want to talk about this. So when I moved to LA, back in 2001, a long time ago, I thought, okay, well, maybe I should try to like get involved with like a local coven or something because I was a solitary practitioner and I'm like in LA now, right? So I go to one of like the famous, like one of these witchcraft stores. It's like really famous called Pan Pipes and it's owned by that chick that was in
I
the
know
movie The
exactly what you're
Craft, right?
talking
I
about.
didn't even want to because I thought it was really lame, but like I went and I went for I think it was Mabon ritual, and I showed up in a cute little sundress or like a little dress that had flowers on it, whatever. I get there and it was like a Hot Topic sale had thrown up all over everybody. Like everybody was wearing black. Everyone has like dark eyeliner and they're all looking at me like I'm a freak. Like literally they're like staring at me and like snickering and making fun of how I'm dressed because I showed up how I show up, right? Like I wasn't trying to look I was just myself and that wasn't cool. And that left such a bad taste in my mouth that I never, for the next 20 years, I never even attempted to try to be part of that any kind of community again because I was like, well, fuck you guys. I I don't have to look goth to be doing what
No.
I've been doing since I was 12, guaranteed longer than any of you guys. You know what I mean? Like at this point, I was really irritated. I stayed and I dealt with it, but I will never forget that. And I remember just how just commercial it felt and how just fake
Beyond
it felt.
commercial, it's like a caricature of like it's like if you told South Park, okay, like make an
Yeah,
episode
yeah,
about
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah. It was definitely like a South Park version. Yeah, it was. And I was like, I'm like the little, I mean, in fact, one of the girls that held the ritual, I ended up knowing her friend who was my neighbor, right? That's how I ended up going in the first place, is my neighbor told me that her friend was running this ritual. So, of course, hang on. Not right now. Sorry.
You're okay.
So yeah, what? Are you guys kidding me? Sorry. I'm getting
It's all right.
wait,
That's why I have everything on silent all the time and people
no,
are
that's
like,
my
well, why?
Facebook. That's my
Yeah.
Facebook. How do I mute that? Like that's me trying to I'm literally that's her calling on my live right now.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix that.
Oopsie.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, but so I found out that later that they had been making fun, they had a nickname for me. Flower Dress Princess was what they were talking about. They're like, "Oh, did you see this girl that showed up?" And my neighbor was like, "That was my neighbor, Anna, that I sent." And she's like, "Oh, well, she showed up looking. She shouldn't have shown up in a dress like that. What did she expect?" Like that actually happened. Like that was
Really?
yeah, like a month later. And I was like,
Doesn't show what they know. Like,
what?
honestly,
I was like, fuck you guys. Man,
I wear light colors consistently as a priestess when it comes to ceremony and ritual. I'm wearing white or cream or pink. Like I'm wearing something light because I'm inviting it all in. And I'm
yeah,
also embodying the goddess. And that's something that I wanted to talk about that we kind of brushed upon. And let's talk about the appearance thing
yeah.
because personally before my initiation I had bright red hair.
Uh-huh.
I had straight hair. I had long hair.
Really?
Yep.
Straight? Oh, that's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Okay, yeah. Okay. And
And I looked different than I do now.
yeah, I mean I agree, but I mean I agree that you look different.
And I
I
can
pictures.
tell you if somebody's been spiritually activated because there's this spark behind the eyes that looks turned on.
Yeah, I mean I see that in my boyfriend, definitely. Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I'm frozen. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I do. Yeah, absolutely. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah. There's this,
Yeah.
it's mischievous almost because it is this kind of little, I don't know.
It's
It gives
the
it,
light.
yeah, it is. And it's,
And it is mischievous because it's magic.
yeah,
It's like this thing that got turned on inside the person
right,
to make them this vessel for magic.
right.
And I had actually posted something on Facebook the other day on my personal Facebook, and I had said, initiating to goddess and invoking and all that is a contract to embody her. So if you're on this path, like, you're contracting to be, an energetic vessel.
Well, let's talk about that. So, like, there's different paths here. Okay, so when we say gods and goddesses, right, there's also planetary energies too. That's the originals. Okay, like the original
gods and goddesses, though, too, right? Like the planet.
No, not. I mean, yes and no. Like, so there's but they specify because again, it was all coded, right? Like back in the day.
Saturn. I'm personally having a Saturn return right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So the planetary initiations, right? But then they only, like, I'm learning this. I didn't even know this. This is something that I learned from my boyfriend, like, because he knows all this stuff, and that he's much more well versed in ceremonial and ritual magic than I am. I'm practical magic, like, because I've been doing it my whole life, but not necessarily trained on it on like ritual ceremonial magic until now.
Right. I'm more folk magic, shamanic. Like my formal stuff is like more alchemy based.
Right. I mean, and he so I had this comment one time in a forum. Someone asked, like, what do I do to be a witch? Okay, whatever. And I was like, oh God, what a question that is. Okay. I was like, well, first you should be studying everything you can get your hands on about it, right? And she said to me, okay, boomer, I don't read. I was like,
are you serious?
Yeah, dude. I've told this story before, man. I told you this. Like, I swear to God. Because I was like, first of all,
blocked it out, but that is the dumbest reaction.
No, I'm Gen X. Okay, yes. But like, I'm not a boomer.
Actually, I found out we are Zennials.
I know, but
we're in that we're Zennials land.
I know, but like technically that's still part of Gen X. It's the tail end the last 3 years. But yeah, we weren't old enough to hang out with the cool kids of the Gen X when we were, but we were.
No, of course not. We were the babies at the end.
Yeah, whatever. We're that weird phase. But this girl said this to me, and I was like, well, have fun with that. Have fun with not reading. Okay, fine. And then my boyfriend said something super profound to me this just yesterday, day before yesterday. He said, we were talking about people not being willing to read, and he's like, well, what set people apart back in the ancient times was their ability to read. So the only people that ever practiced magic were people that could read.
Yes, that's very true.
And so if that's how it was, so it was like, that was like an honor.
The whole book of shadows is in cursive.
Oh, I write my spells in German.
My children can read my book of shadows, but some of their peers
cannot. See, I love it. Yeah, so this was an unintended thing, okay? But yes, we're using it to our advantage. Is that people don't read cursive anymore. Okay, that's fantastic for us. But this is the whole reason that it's been, kept. It's gate kept a little bit, and it is gate kept a little bit for this reason, like because the people that are willing,
it shouldn't be in everybody's hands, and also you have to be capable enough to hold the energy to do the thing. And if you haven't been through the gauntlet of deaths and atrocities that need to attend your initiation and rebirth into things, like, if you can't handle it, you can't handle magic. And that's why it's a select special, what is it, like 2% of the population actually is involved in stuff like this.
Yeah, that can do it. Right. So like that's the thing is like and the other thing about it too is you can try all you like. That doesn't mean you're going to succeed because and this has happened to me. If I had started some of this mystery school stuff even a year ago, and I had received those documents that I got from getting my membership, I would have missed so much.
Oh, you're right.
Because I literally didn't have the frame of reference to be able to process it properly. To a layperson, to a person who hasn't undergone some of these things in life, it just sounds like a bunch of whatever, like, who cares? You're just saying some weird stuff, like stuff we've heard before, right? Stuff we've absolutely heard before. It's actually nothing new, really. But it hits different when you had the circumstances that allows you to actually see what they're talking about. And you can't just see it because you want to see it. You have to be able to see it. And that comes from
Has to
experience and life
be
things. What
right.
was
It
that?
has to be correct perception.
Right. And I wasn't, I
Right.
was not, I would have missed a lot of what, just with my PhD, for instance. Okay. Like I have been working on that for 3 years. Right. And in the beginning, I looked at that material and I was like, this is stupid. That's what I said. I said, this is stupid. I said, this is dumb and cheesy. So I put it aside. I'll get back to it later. I already paid for it. Who cares? I'll do it on my own time. Well, now I'm done doing it, right? Because, I finished my other master's degree. So I'm like, okay. And I'm reading it now and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Why did I think this was stupid? I didn't see it like this before.
And that's why they call them keys too. Like when we talk about magic keys too, because like it has to unlock right inside you. And it takes that circumstance, that special like perfect storm of things to like really mix it up and make it hit home just right.
Right.
And there's actual codes in our DNA too that gets activated.
Yeah, I mean, this is why, and then, this is why when we say that it is coded, it is coded. It's like, so anyone can read it, but that doesn't mean anyone's going to understand it.
It's okay, and so I do teach alchemy and I do teach sex magic, and there's certain things that have to be given vocally, verbally from teacher to student, right? There's certain things energetically that have to hit certain tones vibrationally and certain words in order for me to unlock that in my students.
Right. So this is Maggie. Maggie has known me for many long time. Many long time. And yeah, I did miss it because I was in denial about a lot of things. I didn't want to admit certain things about myself, about other people in my life, etc.
I think that's also why like Anna and I had talked about our sisterhood and how like there's certain things that like we bring out in each other that were meant to happen. And I think that's one of the things is like this past year we catapulted each other and it really helped our perceptions of what's really going on in our lives.
I mean, like this is a change that's like huge because there are people in my life and from my life that would say that I'm just terrible, right? Absolutely terrible. And then there are people in my life that have known me for all the period of time that those other people know me, plus now, and would say absolutely not. And as I'm a kind person, but like there's other people I let into my life that were super toxic, and it's like, and you become when you're surrounding yourself with people that are bad for you, you take on characteristics of those people. It's not just an abuse of you when you allow yourself to be in bad situations. It actually changes your character, and because you become desensitized to it, right? And now you start to emulate some of those behaviors just to be able to defend yourself against that kind of stuff, right? And you have to actually get away. Like it's important. Like the more people that are toxic in your life, the harder it is to get away.
Is so important about who you are and what you're experiencing. Your environment is everything.
Right. And the people that means people in your life. So if you don't have people that are being your cheerleader, you don't have people that are building you, like supporting you when you're trying to do things, and instead they're in competition with you or they're putting you down. And thanks. Told Anna that.
Oh, thank you, Maggie.
Thanks.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
It's amazing what as women our sisterhood will do for each other and really catapult each other, especially when you have either similar backgrounds or similar like fields. It's so complementary and it's so helpful. And we don't talk enough about how important sisterhood really is.
I used to be in the mindset that it was stupid. Yeah. Right. I did. I was like, I don't need friends. Like because I had such a hard time making and keeping them because people were like, again, it's like, when you're somebody that can be taken advantage of, right? Those are the people that you attract. So that was my experience. And so I didn't want any part of it. Right. But now that's changed, significantly changed. And like, So, and this is one of the things is like when you get out of that stuff, I would say that mystery school would not be a good idea for people that are currently in a bad toxic situation like that, right?
No, it could almost kill you because I actually did mine when I was currently in a really bad toxic situation because I used it as like a last resort because I was such a stubborn person in my dark night of the soul and all the things that I went through that I was pulling and holding on to the shittiest things. I was
Yeah.
like fighting the energies.
Yeah.
And it was like, instead of like me jumping into the void, I think I threw myself accidentally into the void. Because when you go into the mysteries, guys, you go into what we call the void. And what it is like it's a free fall of just unraveling everything that you are and you thought was real and you thought was right and you thought was your reality. And now you have to reassemble a new reality that is.
Right.
And it's so different. And some people go through a psychosis even during that
Oh yeah, that's really common. That's actually that
time.
is so there's the difference is like people that get through that and people that don't, right? Like
Mhm.
that's kind of
And
that's
I've
there's
seen people who like come to me and rattle off these things, and I'm like, oh, that's spiritual psychosis right there, because they're so hyped up about the next great thing that's going to happen to them. They're like, I'm going to manifest this. And it's just like, you're not freaking getting it. It's not about manifesting material goods. It's about learning that you're so fucking good with what you got.
right.
Like everything is so amazing with what you've got already, and it's so fit to you and it's so tailored to you. And if you're in flow, everything's taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, that's like in my
Learning.
Kabbalah class, right? Like there's that we were talking about that tonight. My professor was like, he said that there's different levels of souls, right? Like all religions believe this. Even Christianity at one point did too, before they erased that from the texts. But like back before King James Version came out, the Bible actually had, this delineation between different levels of souls. So there was like the inanimate objects have souls. Like that's like everything has a soul. Like
Animate
everything's made of
ones.
atoms. Everything's living to some degree, conscious to some degree. So there's like
Absolutely
that
vibratory,
yeah,
right? Vibrations.
yeah, like base level, which is like inanimate objects, whatever. Then there's
I
like
will be right
insects.
back.
Okay, yeah. There's like insects. Then there's like animals. Then there's humans. But then within humans, there's different levels too. There's the humans that care so much about material things, and those are the lower. I mean, I hate to say it, but those are the lower level, like because they care not only about this stuff that they can acquire outside of themselves. The higher level ones are going to be people that are about like, hey, like I have like what Stephanie just said, I have what I need, or how can I work with what I have rather and make it good instead of trying to constantly be, like looking for external factors to fulfill me, right? Because at the end of the day, our perception creates our reality, right? So if we can't get past the idea that we don't have a Mercedes and I was one of those people, like ask Maggie, I was a snob for a really long time. And in that whole, it was really gross. And I don't even relate to that version anymore of myself. But I was in there and felt like if I didn't stay at the nicest restaurant or at the nicest hotel or the nicest restaurant, my life sucked. Um, how silly, right? That's still like the most ridiculous thing, but that's so, it doesn't mean, and sometimes it takes lifetimes to get over these things, right? Lifetimes. But you can also, if you can see it in your current lifetime, you can change it. So I would highly suggest that if you guys are anywhere near the point of like, now if you're coming out of like toxic situations where people have taken advantage of you and you're kind of like at that broken point where you're just like, F it, I give up, that would be a good time to start learning. That would be when you're at the bottom, right? Like climbing your way back out. Having that community would be helpful if you're open to hear, like if you're open to see, like, and no one can
Right.
force that on you, right? It can't
Right.
happen.
I was the last person who would have ever like thought that I would have gone to mystery school. I was the last person who thought I would have a sisterhood with other women in spirituality or in, any of this path. I always thought I a loner, and then it's like it gets put in your way when you choose it, right?
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
that's what
ask and you
happens.
shall receive, right? Like
Right.
literally, I was like, I want to find a place to go do this stuff, and I found it. I just looked for a little bit, and it was there, and it's awesome. And again, like, so the ones that I can personally like recommend. Okay, I'll say this: the ones that I personally know about enough about to say would be suitable for people to check out would be the Rosicrucians, right? The Golden Dawn,
Yes.
the Builders of the Adytum of the Boda,
Of course.
and the Fellowship of Isis. Those ones I know personally, like, about them. I've studied them, like I've looked into them. Those are ones that I personally can say teach stuff that I find to be acceptable, right? And cool. And so if you go, I'm telling you right now, though, Meetup, that website Meetup, right? That is where I found all of it. So,
that's good to know, actually, because I didn't even know that Meetup had that.
Yeah, I just typed in esoteric, that word, or occult, and then or spirituality, just like anything, meditation, whatever, like anything, like just think of the things that you might think it would happen at, a mystery school, right? And type those in, and then they'll come up. And I will say that they do come up under different categories. Like, so with like the Golden Dawn, that came up under tarot, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because they have classes on tarot, and you can take them, right? There's a place here in LA called what is it? It's like the Hermetic, I don't know, school. It's downtown. I don't know. They charge a lot more for their classes than membership dues, but and I have not been to any of them, so I can't really vouch for it. But there's different actual brick and mortar schools that you can go to, and these places that I just mentioned all have actual temples in the city in LA. Where you can go to services there,
like,
for
I
free.
have to say, you're super fortunate to have that where you're at, because I'm out in like the Bible Belt of California.
Let me see if they have anything in Fresno. Let me see. I want to check that out, actually.
That is quite interesting, yeah, because if they are, it's very, very, very secret.
Right. Because again, these are those buildings that you've driven by like 100 times and whatever, and you see like a weird symbol on it, and you're like, I don't know what that means. And then it ends up.
We have one that says Oddfellows. That's like
that's one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, but I feel like that's like an
and
old
we have a Masonic
one.
temple there too, huh?
I feel like that's an old man's one for some reason.
I don't know. It's in a very, like, obviously, like, chill building. Like, you would never think of like this building unless you really like looked at it. It just,
Yeah. I mean, okay, so let's see if I could find for Esoteric in Fresno. Oh God, stop it. Okay, Esoteric. Let's see if anything. God, I don't know why it's just not cooperating with me. It's like, no Fresno. We're not doing Fresno.
Yeah, it's like, we don't do this.
Oh my God. Let's see. Oh wow, you have a lot. You have a lot. So there is well, it looks like it's all the same place. Never mind. Okay, so
it's just duplicates.
Okay. Nope, it didn't even give me Fresno. It gave me freaking New York. I don't know why it's not letting me type in. Okay, hang on. Esoteric groups in Fresno. So there's the Palo Alto area Pagean meetup group. I don't know. There's the Esoteric Shinto
area.
Nope, it says Fresno. I know. It's an offshoot. It says the Shinto group. Then there's the Witch and Pagan Network, and then there's Solar Yoga and Aquarian Cultural Group. And then there is let's see what else. That's it. Okay, so that was esoteric. Okay, so let me say spiritual. Anyone else want me to check their area? Let me know. Put it in the chat where you're at.
Right, put it in the chat. Let's see.
Okay, so Sacramento has stuff coming up in Sacramento.
Sacramento's like 2 hours north of me.
I know. San Joaquin Valley Spiritual Experience Group. Spiritual Adventures. I don't know, man. Yeah. So it doesn't look like, it looks like you're pretty limited. I'm sorry. Let's see. Let me type mystery school.
As we're doing this, guys.
San Ramon. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, wait.
like and share our
Yeah.
video, because we're gonna move into answering questions, your psychic questions for the
Yeah.
week.
They have Rosicrucians in Fresno. So, okay, San Ramon.
They have
Yeah.
Rosicrucians in Fresno. That's quite interesting.
Okay. San Ramon, California. Let's see. Looks like, and then okay, and I'll check out the one in Wisconsin too. So in so in San Ramon, there's the Rosicrucians. There's the Spiritual Transformation Group in San Francisco. There's Bookish Encounters. I don't know. Yeah, Menlo Park something.
I think I've heard of Bookish Encounters, actually.
Yeah. So let's see what else is there. Energy healing and meditation in San Ramon. There's spiritual adventures. There is Marine Spiritual Exploration Group. Okay. Yeah. So you have some stuff there. There's some stuff there. That's under spiritual. You just type in here. Let me give you it's meetup.com. So I'll put it in the chat here. You guys can. There. Okay. Just type that in. So yeah, I would just, I just kept playing around with search terms, right? Like, meditation, a lot of time, or hermetics.
Yeah, Anna is totally a detective. She most honestly will find it. I know. I love that about her, actually, because, when I was actively dating, which I'm not anymore, I would have her just totally do that for me and search and do background checks and stuff, and it was very helpful.
Yeah, I know how to do that. Like, I mean, I have my ways. But I think when you put your mind to it, you can find whatever. You can figure it out, right? It's important. Like, sometimes we need to know what we're doing, who we're engaging with, and people lie about who they are, right? So I'm looking for, okay, so there's physics with friends. I guess that's a spiritual group. It's physics, not psychics. Definitely not reading that wrong. Community of the Infinite Spirit. Community of the Infinite Spirit is also in the Bay Area. And yeah. So yeah, it looks like that. So let me look at Wisconsin. Madison, Wisconsin. Okay, and let me see. Boom.
Start posting your questions.
Ooh, you got Rosicrucians in your area also. And Illuminati. What? Y'all got the Illuminati out there in Wisconsin.
How many of y'all get the Illuminati, quote unquote, in your DMs? I get it weekly. It's so fun.
And then they also have VOTA, VOTA, the Builders of the Adytum. That one is good, definitely. Then they have Thelema there too. Then they have the Function Women plus Science plus Math. Awkwardly Zen group, and yeah, Witch's Cottage. Yeah, there's stuff here for you guys. So, yeah, definitely.
That's cool.
Check it out, guys. Yeah, there's stuff. And again, I think paying $15, $20 a month for membership is totally worth it and acceptable. But if they're asking for more money than that, I would be hesitant, because if it's really like an ancient order, they shouldn't be asking for that. Like, should be asking for membership dues to pay their bills for wherever they're at and to supply materials, but it's not a profit making thing.
No, like, if somebody's offering you a mystery school and then they tell you it's like $6,000, run the other way, please. If somebody's telling you, encouraging you, oh, well, just get a visa and then put it on the visa, run. When
no, don't do that.
Spiritual people tell you that they're ready to teach you how to turn around your life, run.
Yeah, because that's not how it works. It's not. I wish it was.
I mean, I just feel like it's so predatory what's out there, because I feel like they're fucking with people's minds and their hopes and dreams and their feelings. And there's a difference between magical thinking and then learning magic. There's a difference.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, magical thinking is a negative thing. It's not good. It's something, if you come in to see a psychologist, and you start saying things like, you think that your thoughts have the ability to influence events around you, kind of thing. You're going to be, I personally might not, but I will ask other questions to follow up to see, are we talking about like you're able to manifest stuff, or are we talking about you're literally like thinking that you're able to change people's wills with your mind? Like I'm not sure here, so I gotta delve a little deeper. But other people that do the same thing would absolutely just right off the bat mark you down as magical thinker, and that's probably one of the biggest signs of psychosis that there is. So yeah, that's not you don't want to be labeled a magical thinker.
Absolutely. Like if like your friend is sitting there and they've been watching too much TikTok or whatever, I don't know. Like there's some whack shit out there, but like
yeah, there's
and they're sitting there and they're like, honey, I'm going to manifest a BMW for myself next week. Like you have to be like, bitch, what drugs are you on? Because that's fucking crazy. And I'm sorry, that's not how this works at all.
I mean, like that's, I mean,
that magical thinking, there is like a highway to psychosis there, because
there is,
if
and
like,
that's
something bad happens to them, they're gonna like take their unhealed inner child, hold on to it, and start victimizing themselves and being woe is me. It's just such a bad recipe. So if you have a friend like that and you're a good friend, just stop them.
Oh, Maggie, we did that at the beginning. Sorry.
Yes, Maggie, we did actually, but yes, she is Dr. Anna Stone now, Little Miss PhD. We're so proud of her. I love it.
It's crazy. Like I'm just waiting to get it in. Like when I actually have it in hand, I'll feel better about that. But like so that's cool. It's cool. I did it. Behind me. So talk about okay, let's talk about like manifesting, right? Behind my computer right now, on the wall, it says Dr. Anna Stone, PhD. And it's said that for the last 5 years on this wall. Why is that there? Because that's my goal. That has been my goal for the past 5 years, is to get my doctorate.
I agree, Maggie.
Right?
Yeah, sorry.
And thanks, Maggie. I was somebody that thought I would never graduate college because I couldn't do math. I thought I couldn't do math, and I struggled with it for 20 years. I literally like couldn't do math. I thought I was actually stupid and like couldn't figure it out. And finally I started teaching like as a high school teacher with no degree. Like I lied. I did. I was like, yeah, no, I got a degree. And they didn't check because it's private school. By the way, FYI, private schools do not credential or check background. So then, but I'm good at what I do. I was a good teacher because I was a scientist for 20 years.
Yeah,
I was telling my students how they needed to go to college and they needed to make sure they finished it because they didn't want to take a break and then not go back. And I was saying what I had done, and I realized I was being an absolute hypocrite by telling my students, like shoving this down their throat and me not finishing it. So I was like, okay, at 39 years old, I was like, I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to do this. I signed up for school at Southern Utah University, and I did everything I could to not have to take math. Okay, like everything I could. And I failed at that. And then I took math and I passed it. Oh my God, right? And so I got a 4.0 with my bachelor's, finally graduate. And my advisor was like, so what about grad school? And I was like, what do you mean grad school? I had never even considered it because I didn't think I'd ever even get the bachelor's, right? So now all of a sudden they're like offering me a scholarship for this master's degree. And so I take it, and I did that in a year and a half, 4.0 again, finished that. And I was like, ooh, that was really easy. I want to do another one. So I signed up for a second master's, and I just finished that one. And while I was in the second master's, I signed up for a PhD. And so I did all concurrently, basically, except for the bachelor's. And like, so point is, you're never too old. But this whole time I've had in the back every day when I sit down here, I see that thing that says Dr. Anna Stone, PhD, because that's been my goal. But you can't just put that on the wall and not do anything, like that's magical thinking. Like I actually went, you have to actually take the steps to get the thing you're trying to do, right?
Right.
Like,
if it's an actual
the sky on you, like
thing, and you're not just saying, oh, things are going to get better, if it's an actual tangible thing you want, you have to do the work.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Mom. I mean, like it's one of those things where, I teach adults. I'm a community college professor, right? And I teach adults, and they're coming back to school for the first time in 30 years, whatever. And they're so scared. And I'm just like, you guys, I literally within the last 5 years, I got all of the degrees that have allowed me to become a professor. And they're just like, what? And I'm like, yeah. So don't like you can do it. Like it's never too late, right? Ever, if you have that desire.
It's
So
never too late. And I think that's beautiful and absolutely amazing. And
I love
like,
it.
it's a tale of transformation, because look at where you came from. Look at the start you had in life.
Right.
Look at how systematically you were oppressed in every which way, shape, or form, and yet you still came out on top.
I mean, it took a really long time. Yeah. I mean, it took a long time, and I wasn't
Yeah,
sure for a while
yeah,
there. Like,
sure,
you
absolutely.
know, but
But
but it's about that. It's that the part of magic, I think, too, is to be able to look at. So I was telling Maggie this the other day. It's like back in just 10 years ago. Okay, yeah, about 10, 12 years, 12 to 10 years ago. Like, right, I was in such a bad way that like I literally was living in victim mentality. Everything happened to me. Everything was about like everything was happening to me. It was all unfair. It was like, and it's I'm not saying that wasn't true. It absolutely was true. Like there was stuff that I had no control over that was just happening, but I just looked at everything like it was just just the worst case scenario, like just always living in victim mentality.
right,
Now,
right, right. Well, it is, because like even saying things, right, like, oh, this always happens to me, or if it
right,
wasn't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all.
right,
These
yeah,
are
yeah,
actual affirmations of saying, like, I'm in a bad way, and you're just keeping it going,
yes,
right? And
right,
and that's a victim mindset, is what we're
right,
talking about when we
yeah,
say that, because you're in control of where you go
or
in
your
life.
reaction to the things that happen. So you might not
And
be able to control the things that happen, but you can control how you react to them. And I was in mad denial about this. Like when people would say I was living in a victim mentality, be like, "F you, what are you talking?" I was all like, "Absolutely not," right?
yes, the
No way.
defensive comes up
Yep.
immediately,
Yeah,
and
but
it's
so that's the thing about trauma. Trauma responses, like some of the trauma responses that I found, as I was getting my, PhD in psychology, right? Like it's like trauma responses are things that we see all the time and we don't realize that they're trauma responses. Like being defensive when someone offers you criticism, constructive or otherwise, like being defensive is like where you feel attacked just because someone has offered an opinion that differs from yours. Wanting to be in control of people, places, things at all costs, like having to plan every single minute of every day, having to tell your
codependency.
friends what to do, who you can and can't hang out with, what you can and can't, like all of that. That's trauma response, right? Because it's like
Mhm.
we have no control over these other things in our lives that happen to us. So we're now trying to mitigate that by controlling everything in our environment currently.
Right.
Those things are that all that's happening here is we're hanging on to that trauma by doing those things. But like you tried to tell me this 10 years ago and I'm telling you you're an idiot, right? Like you don't know what you're talking about. I look
Yeah,
back now and I'm like, wow, I was so wow. Yeah, they were right this
but
whole
I think
time.
that's also the growth, right? The personal
Yeah.
growth is the part where we look back and go, "Oh, wow, I was an asshole." Like, and people even ask me, they're like, "Oh, you're so enlightened now, like you must have been blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Oh, no, I was a big asshole."
Yeah.
And I realized that something had to give, and it wasn't going to be the other people around me. It was going to be me.
That's the thing. It has to be you. You
Mhm.
cannot control you can't control other people. You can only control yourself. And like the sooner that everybody realizes that, the better. The other thing too is like the idea that things that happened to you in the past that were bad, that we've swept under the rug, don't matter because they absolutely do matter. So you have to be. I mean, I know, and that's the other thing. Oh, the other one. This is really great. Is over intellectualizing your emotions and feelings. Like by
Oh,
what I
yeah.
did, diving into psychology, trying to understand every single thing about trauma, right? Because I'm like, well, if I understand it, I can beat it, okay? But like, what ends up happening is that now you've detached yourself from it, and it looks clinical instead of actually something you're feeling and experiencing, and so you're never going to actually address it. So it has to take some kind of thing that happens, like a horrible breakup, or like some kind of other thing that breaks you back down and puts you back in a vulnerable state where you can actually start to process those things. And it's very
Yeah.
hard, to do, but like, yeah. And then from there, you can wake up and see what's really going on and possibly join a mystery school.
Oh no! Did you see this? Shit.
Yeah, you're so funny.
Oh my god, girl. Aren't you supposed to be at a comedy show? That's hilarious though. And now she's here. Well, welcome.
Yes.
We've been talking about mystery schools and things of that nature.
Oh yeah, and books. Let's talk about some books. What would you say is a good book to start with if you're looking to really start to teach yourself about the occult, the esoteric, etc.?
Ooh, well,
I have a bunch.
I have several books for spiritual awakening that would lead you to esoteric books, but the esoteric ones, give me a minute. I will let you go ahead with that one.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay,
I
what happened?
definitely would say if you're starting to question things, start with the basics. Like I would go with Baba Ram Dass, Be Here Now.
Okay.
Because you really need to focus on energetically clearing out everything before you even start on esoteric.
Yeah. Okay. So that's like New Age. Ram Dass is a New Age person, right?
It's New Age, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I think it's I don't know, man. I think your Intifada is shaking it off. I don't know if I want to shake it off. Oh, this comment here. Sorry. Let me put it up on the chat. So
Where?
here. So is this an inward rebellion, an upward rebellion, outward rebellion, or is it rebelling against yourself? Like, I don't know. I think it's both. I think it's a little both.
When you're rebelling outward, you're always rebelling inward.
Right. I mean, I guess depends. I mean, if you're rebelling against the status quo,
who you truly are, right? Because you're fighting off that vulnerability. You're fighting off that feeling of like of just sitting in it. Instead, you're having to push outward, right? When we rebel, we're pushing outward.
Yeah.
We're forcing our will, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like everybody should take a look. Like, I think both, being able to look at yourself and see what is bubbling up inside of you, what's rising, what the turmoil is inside of oneself is important. But it's almost impossible sometimes to do that because emotions get in the way, right? Or denial.
I like to say that our minds are there for survival, right?
Yeah.
Our minds are there, they're busy, right?
Yeah.
But thoughts are just communication. So, like, if there's too many of them, you just need to learn how to control them.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to control your thoughts because it's like a muscle. And your emotions are actually your truth. And when you learn to listen to them instead of try to drive them
or react
try to
or
control
react
it,
to them
or
always.
be in reactivity, when you just sit in it and sit in the discomfort, you can learn to control your reactions and everything much better in your mind, and you won't deal with that issue.
Yeah. Another sign of a trauma response is always having to be busy. Right? Because what we're doing when we're doing that is to avoid exactly what you just said, avoid sitting in the current state that you're in. So you're distracting yourself with things, right? That's been my biggest one, and I've just recently started doing that, and it's lovely. It's lovely. This book, this is Transcendental Magic by Elphius Levi. This one's good. This is like pretty. Covers everything pretty much. This was a book that was recommended to me by my boyfriend, and I looked through it and I'm like, yeah, okay, I see that. All right, then so Levi, Waite McGregor, Jesus, like I don't read Crowley personally. I'm gonna say it. I know a lot of people will be like, what? Oh, I'm not about all the weird sex stuff. I'm just not. Like it's just like Freud. I'm like, you had me until you started talking about creepy stuff. Like I just
but
not about that Freud, and I'm also Crowley's the same way. Like because
I think that was just their kink, right? Like that was something that they got off on.
I don't know. I don't care. Like
going to include it in their practice. Like, I mean, think about it.
I think it's like, well, listen, that's the other thing is there's a lot of people that will get into these positions of power, right? And then they'll come, they'll pervert them to do the things that they wanted to do anyway, but now they have some kind of like authority to have other people. I don't know. That's kind of like what happens. So I can tell you like right now, there's the mystery schools that are existing now. Those are no longer offshoots of Crowley's. Like they left that behind. So you're not. Thelema
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
different.
Especially if you're studying like Order of the Golden Dawn and Hermeticism now, like I have, okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn things that have nothing to do with him.
But Thelema
it
is not the same, or OTO is not the same. Those
right,
are the same.
right.
Those are that. So that's what you're looking for. That's where you go. But like, if you're not looking for that, and you're looking for actual, like, you know, understanding of stuff that isn't gross, perverted. Like, I don't know. I just am not into that. Like, I'm just not into that stuff. Personally, I'm not trying to like mix that stuff with my religious practices, right? Like, I'm just not.
I personally, okay, so personally, I do teach sex magic and I do practice sex magic and
Right.
I do incorporate it into my rituals personally, like at home, right? But I don't do it in a group setting. I won't do it in ritual at my ceremonies, you know.
Yeah. Like
It's not
that. Well, that's
something
what those people. Those do that. Like so.
those
Yeah.
people do that. Yes, they do.
Yeah. Yeah. No thanks. I won't pass. Sounds like a bad college party. Honestly, like I'm just not about it.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to say actually that the well-placed um let's see, Dionysian festivities are great for, you know, what they are, but I mean, you know, excess in any form is going to be a problem.
Right. Right. I mean, there's stuff I can say here I'm not gonna, because it's again, it's a gate kept stuff and I'm not gonna be the one breaking that, but like I just know some of the things that I'm just like, I'd be so pissed. I'd be so pissed. Like I'd be so mad if like I devoted my time and found out the end this is what where we're at. Like I'd be mad. That's all I'll say.
Oh, you mean like Crowley and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
I'd be
course. I
furious.
don't know if you guys are familiar, but like, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I can
mean,
say it. I'm not saying
huh?
it. I'm not gonna say it. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it, but like I would just be furious. I'd be like, well, are you joking? Uh what? This is you bastards. Like, so no, but like for legitimate stuff, just training that you want to get to know a little better, then you know, mystery school might be for you. So I would highly suggest if you're looking for community, you can do it. And guess what? You can also do it by yourself because you can do them correspondence
Right.
classes, or you know, and they all actually the classes are going to mostly all be correspondence, except for anything that's offered in your area in person. And again, how you find that out is to look them up, right? So I'm going to put in the chat right
Right.
now the names of these things that we're talking about, so you have them in writing. Okay, so let me put
And
the
if
names
you're
in
in
there.
the Fresno area and you are curious about pagan ceremonial practices and ritual, then I do these. They are public and they are at the Unitarian Universalist Church, and I do them every Sabbath. So it's definitely a great thing to come join. Um, what else was I gonna say? I do teach. I teach magic. I do teach alchemy, and you can sign up for my classes on my website if you're interested in sex magic and alchemy. And Anna, are you frozen again? Oh no, you're not.
Okay, no, I'm just getting some websites for people. Hang on. I'm just gonna
Okay.
put so I'm gonna put the first one in the chat here now.
Oh, look at Maggie. She already asked, when are you two phenomenal ladies starting your own school? Well, Anna and I actually come from two different schools.
Right.
So like our practices are a little bit different. But I do believe Anna's teaching just like I'm teaching, but I don't know
I'm not
when.
teaching that. I teach college classes. I'm not teaching. I'm not
When
teaching
are
that.
you ever going to be teaching mystery school, you think?
What was that? No, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I mean, not at this moment. I'm still just so focused on academics, right? But you know, perhaps maybe after, I don't know. We'll see. We will see. So then I don't know if the Golden Dawn actually has a website. Let's see. I'll find out. Does the Golden Dawn have a website? And then also there's the Freemasons too, of course, but you can't just get in there. You got to be petitioned, or you have
Right.
to have someone in your family that's a Freemason. If you're female, you can join Eastern Star or OES, and that again requires that you have some male member of your family that was a Freemason or is an active Freemason. I am I did that, and I had to, provide proof of my grandfather. Like, they do vet you too. They will actually check you out and talk to people that know you. They do
Oh
that.
yeah, you have to be vetted before you're initiated.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then like even I had to have a letter of recommendation sent written on my behalf because they don't want to have, and that's a good thing. That's something you want to look for. Is that their process doesn't just accept anybody, because that is
That's
a big
right.
problem. So I will be very honest when I say this, that there are these places tend to draw in people that are highly disturbed. I will say that. Like, that is absolutely
Oh,
true.
yes, but
Yeah.
there's a difference. You can tell.
Yeah. Like, and when I say highly disturbed, I mean like people that have illegal types of activities that they engage in,
We
like bad stuff.
we are beacons for people who are highly disturbed as well.
Right. So you have to watch and make sure that they're vetting their members, because otherwise just anyone can join, and you don't want to be around some of those people. I mean, let me tell you. Oh, so it doesn't look like, doesn't, I mean, they have a Wikipedia page, but I don't see a website. Oh wait. Nope. I sure don't. Yeah, I don't see a website for them, the Golden Dawn. So they must have theirs must be a little bit more hidden. So you'd have to probably do some. Oh, never mind. I lied. Okay, I found it.
I had to go looking.
Here
I
we
was
go.
looking for months before I found mine.
There we go. Yeah. So it just depends on what you resonate with, like what kind of, if you're into ancient Egyptian stuff, maybe the Fellowship of Isis might be the best thing for you, right? And I found they have a definite website. That was the first thing that popped up. Wow. Okay, and that's here. Yeah, I put my detective skills to use here. So there's a couple for you guys to start off. Okay.
Yeah.
If anyone's interested.
Yeah.
But I would definitely say reading is key here, because like reading, studying is like the big thing. I know everyone doesn't want to read anymore, which is insanity to me. I don't get that. But like, just think about this.
Okay,
if you don't read,
think about it. Like, if you don't read, how can you be a witch? Like, I'm sorry. Like, that was one of the big things that they even like used to accuse us of being witches.
That is absolutely is. It is. So it's like we're damned if we do.
That you're literate. That you're a literate female.
Being literate was like a sin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
Like, come on, let's not be dumb bitches anymore, please.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, and also you can look at it this way. Like, the ability of people to have an imagination has declined by 50%. So there's like 50% of us that are walking around without the ability to visualize something in our mind's eye.
Why? I don't have TV. I don't have a TV.
I don't watch TV. Nope. And I haven't watched the news for like years now. Like, I won't do it.
No, I never watch the news. I don't watch TV. I don't watch commercials. Like, those, it's all such propaganda to control your mind or program your mind a certain way, so that you're not thinking enough and you're not using your critical thinking brain.
Yeah. Okay. So, and also, in case y'all didn't know, I'm sure you guys do, because you guys are a smart bunch, but the same companies own all the news. No matter if it's like right-wing news or left-wing, doesn't matter. They are all owned by the same parent company. So it's all an illusion. The whole this side, that side, also an illusion. Like, all of it is just a narrative. It's all BS. It's like all of those people are friends at the end of the day, all working towards a common goal and pretending to us that they have our best interest at heart, which show me one time that that's been factual. Like, no, they don't. Not at all. So, like, I don't bother myself with that anymore. Like, I just don't. Because there's nothing I can do about it. I can be outraged about the things going on in the world, sure, okay? But what can I do about it? Nothing. So all I can do is help out in my sphere of influence, my immediate sphere of influence, and make sure that the people I care about and I have access to are good. Aside from that, it's an absolute waste of my time and energy and your time and energy to be all up in a roar about things that are going on that no matter what is going to happen anyway, because that's how it's been designed. So, like,
right, exactly. We can't do anything different about it except live in our good vibration and like do good at our community level that we can.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That is it. I mean, that's it. And then, but when you're so stressed about everything else, you can't show up that way for even yourself, like your own community, because you're too spent on worrying about things you can't control.
Yes, because when you live in fear, it takes you down, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it creates fatigue, it
Mm-hmm.
creates a fried nervous system. And like
Just like the school
in
system.
when you're in nervous system dysregulation, which is also caused by social media, which is also caused by too much screen time, okay?
Oh my gosh, yes, there's so many studies about that. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and so what happens is you're much easier to program. You're much easier to lead a certain way.
Yeah.
Especially because it makes you sick.
I mean,
So,
yeah, like that's a thing. Companies hire social psychologists to create narratives for commercials to get people, yeah, it's like an angry small peanut. Yeah. Shannon. Shannon.
oh, Shannon.
Shannon, you're so right. You're so right. I would never have put those things together, but like yes,
Yes.
you're right. It always comes back to that, doesn't it? Like the
It
people that are
always
all up in
does.
an uproar about women wearing makeup, people are all in an uproar about body count, people are all in an uproar about whatever else about women. All of them are that situation right there. All of it. You can tell. You can tell. I can tell
Mhm.
what kind of energy you got going on based on how you talk about certain things. It's very clear.
I love
Tell me I'm
it.
wrong.
But yes,
Tell me I'm wrong. Okay. So
right?
yeah, no, I'm not wrong. So yeah, this is it's a confidence thing. It
Mhm.
actually is a confidence thing. It's a self-confidence thing. And it's sad. Because no matter what you got, you should be proud of it. Right? You shouldn't be. You never compare yourself to other people. That's why people are jerks because they compare
But
themselves to other people all the time.
okay, here's the other thing though. How do you keep people in consumerism if you don't have them comparing?
Well, I'm saying personally, don't do it. Of course, that's what they're telling everyone to do. This is like what
Right?
every commercial is selling you a lifestyle. It's not selling you a product, it's selling you a lifestyle. It's like if you buy
Yeah.
this thing, you're gonna have this lifestyle, the lifestyle that they're
Right.
depicting in the ad. And you fall for
Yeah.
it, hook, line, and sinker. I mean, look at
Yeah.
the Stanley Cup. Come on.
That was the stupidest thing I think I've ever seen.
They have lead
But
in them.
I know that in the past I have fallen
I,
for that exact game. You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Like I just didn't realize I was in it when I was in it.
Right. Because I was like, yeah, I wasn't. That's the other thing too is they keep it behind a paywall of academia, and I hate to say that because I work in academia, but that is true. If you don't have an advanced degree, you don't know about so much stuff. I'm telling you now that like at the associate level, I didn't learn things that I learned in the bachelor's level. At the bachelor's level, I didn't know things that I learned at the master's level, and at the master's level, I didn't know a lot that I learned later at the PhD level. It's unreal, and it's about the same subjects. So it's like you're taught this understanding of a topic like media, okay, at the bachelor's or associate level, and you think you understand it. Then you go to master's level, and you're like, whoa, wait, what? Okay, now we told you that stuff, but that wasn't really the whole story. Here's the rest of it. Then you get to PhD level, and they're like, oh yeah, that. Well, let's tell you what's really going on here. Like it's it's so bullshit. Like it really is. Like
Oh
it
yeah.
is. Yeah, I can't even. There's so many examples I could give. It's unreal, and it's it's gatekept. It's gatekept definitely, and
Of
that's stuff
course.
that shouldn't be gatekept. Like that stuff that interacts with our daily lives and interferes like that has impact on us and how we spend money. And like school, for instance, like compulsory school, everyone knows what that's about, right? You guys know that you didn't go to school to learn shit, right? You know that, right? I hope that you didn't go to school to learn any useful info. You went to be a complacent factory worker that would be
Right.
fine sitting at an uncomfortable desk for 8 hours
You
a
learn
day
how to be
with
a
crappy
cog in
food.
the wheel. I
Hmm.
already told my kids, I said, if you want me to homeschool my grandkids, I am all about it because I do not want to continue the legacy of bullshit
Yeah,
that we've got going on with our schools right now because
it's
they're
been like
all
that for
being
a year. It's started
how
that
to
way.
be worker bees. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You're not teaching children how to think for themselves. You're not teaching them creativity. You're teaching them how to be at a desk and
Mhm.
producing. That's it. It's
And
production.
following orders.
Production.
Yeah, and being exhausted and overworked, so when you come home, you don't have time to think about what else could be possible, you just have to get back up and do it all over again. That's why, you know, they don't teach us. I do. I teach my students how I in high school, I taught my students how to balance their checkbook. They're like, "What's a checkbook?" I'm like, you know, but I did. I taught them taxes, how to apply for jobs, like, and I got in trouble for that. So yeah, I got told I was
Right,
not. Yeah,
right, because
yeah.
you gave them skills that they're
Mhm.
supposed to
I told
really.
them if I tell you something and you think I might be full of shit, you should tell me that. You should call me out. If I say something in class and you find that I'm wrong, you need to call me out and challenge me on it. And my admin called me in and they're like, "Well, are you telling your students to question their teachers?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." And they're like, "You need to stop that." And I was like,
Yeah, you question everything,
"Why?" Like,
always.
and they're like, "That's not a good look for the school." And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was supposed to be like teaching young people how to be competent adults." Like,
Right,
right? And I got in trouble for that. I literally got in trouble for that. So I learned really quick that it was all yes, yeah. But at the compulsory level, anyways, like when it's okay through 12. Yeah. But we have to.
mhm.
We have to send our kids there or we get the CPS people involved, right? So when
Exactly. You always teach your students to challenge you because that is a good teacher. Exactly. Because you want them to form critical thinking skills,
right,
Like the whole thing is for them not to need us anymore when we're teaching. Like that's the
right.
whole point.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but yeah, you'll get in trouble for that if you try to do that nowadays in the classroom. And I can almost guarantee it, unless you're at a very good school that's totally not following the normal kind of style of teaching, right? So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, in college, I don't worry about this, but like when I was a high school teacher, I definitely did, and I had to watch what I said because even parents didn't really have a problem with it, but the school absolutely did. Like the parents would be like, "Oh, that's awesome," and then the school would be like, "Nope," and I'm like, "But the parents are happy. That's not what we're doing here." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." They're like, "You're undermining your own authority," and I'm like, "I'm undermining my own authority by telling them if they find out that I told them something erroneous to tell me about it."
How
Like,
very authoritarian there.
well, so I'm supposed to tell them that if it's false, just because the teacher said it, they should believe it? Like, are you serious? That's what you're
Right.
saying. They're like, "That's not what we're saying." I'm like, "That's exactly what you just said," without saying it.
Mhm.
Like, don't play semantics with me, dude. Like, don't. Like, I know exactly what you're saying right now, and I don't like it. Like, but I've never been a rule follower ever. So, like, I've always questioned that stuff, and I like seeing that it's a spirit and within somebody, right? If you're not questioning things, then your spirit's broken.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Thank you for saying that. Yes, that is so true. I had a moment during my journey with Catholicism that I felt that way. Um, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we all know. I
For
mean,
sure.
there's good people in all of these. Now, I'm not saying that everybody
Right.
that's a part of this. And like, I'll tell you right now that there's teachers that love and care about your kids wholeheartedly and want to teach them the things that they know matter in life, but they can't. Like, I will say that. Like, that is true. It's not the teachers, it's the administrations. Um,
Mhm.
and then if you notice, whenever there's problems, they pass the buck back onto the teachers, right? Heals the teachers.
Absolutely.
That there is no, you can't get away, you can't do anything in a classroom without being told. Your kids have big mouths, man. Like, like if you're doing something in your class that they love, you better believe admin knows about it. And if admin doesn't love it, they're gonna tell you. It's just yeah, yeah. So right. Let's see. What did he say? Watching you come home from teaching that one high school I won't mention. You look so defeated and would get so frustrated having to conform to be a good teacher when everything in the administration. Oh yeah, it was yeah, just telling me, like, my students were thriving, like they were doing really good. Their test scores improved and stuff, and then they're like, no, like, okay,
Right.
fine, right. And then I quit. I was thinking, I can't, I'm done, can't do it. Mm-mm.
Mhm.
Now I'm
Yeah,
in college and I can't. I don't worry about it. Like now I'm like, okay, but
right.
I don't share information with people unless they ask for it either. So nowadays, right? Because you can't share some of this stuff with people because it will mess up their path.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
hmm Yeah.
That's very
Some
true.
things is just like people have to find it out for themselves because you can
Well, you
tell.
can't rescue people either because if you do it for them, then you're fucking up the whole system
Right.
because, like, people have to seek out their enlightenment. They have to seek out their next step, because if you do it for them, then they're just going to be lazy about it and not learn it the right way.
Right. Or just like the people that cast spells and they just do nothing to facilitate that result, right? And they're just like, my magic didn't work. Like, okay. Right. Yeah. It didn't work.
I will say though, I do things. I do spells that are like sometimes like what Megan had said was my what was it? My ghetto love spell, she called it, because I did that one that night after I was very disappointed about a situation that I went through. And it really showed me that I just wasn't ready for dating, even when I did the love spell, because when I did it, like the very next day, I had like 30 DMs from guys who wanted to pick me up, quote unquote. And it wasn't what I had wanted at all. It was it, but I guess it showed me in a way, it was a spell on myself, because it showed me in a way where I needed to be.
Right.
It aligned me.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we both had our nightmare dating fiascos recently. Like, that is not a pool of people I ever want to dip into again in my life. Like, let me just say that.
Right.
That was absolute hell. Like, wow. I mean, I ended up meeting someone fantastic, but it was literally at the last second. Like, I had deleted all the other profiles, and then I went to that last one and was like, I'm on late. And then my boyfriend messaged me, was like, hey, what's up? And I was like, oh, wait, what? Okay, I'll try this one more thing. And then, you know, here I'm 6 months later, and I'm yeah, everything's great. But the path to get there, like, absolute hell. And it's just because, again, like, I think our society is like really separated men and women highly. Like, and esoteric. Okay, so in esotericism, that relationship between male and female is like really important. Like, it is. It's like that's like a thing. It's like a circuit, right? An energetic circuit that can be very powerful when two people come together and they are of like minds, like souls, whatever. But that's rare to find. It's hard to find, right? Like it has to be the right time. I think.
You like you'll vibrate and find that person. It will. Oh, when you're on this path, it's so different.
It is.
Because you don't know when it's going to happen, but it'll probably happen later in life, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And
like in your 30s, late 30s, 40s. Yeah.
You have to trust that it'll align when it aligns, because like you have so much work to do, esoterically speaking, anyway.
Individually.
Right? Because we're usually on a path of the great work.
The great work, right? Yes.
Right.
And that is. And if you'll meet people along the way that seem like they're the right person, but they're literally there, I think, on purpose to drag you back down.
Right. There's definite fuckery afoot when you learn that you have to continually choose yourself and surrender to the flow, right?
Yeah. And it is an actual energetic shift that happens within you, like, and it's not something that anyone can force on you at all. It has to be like it unfortunately is always like the rock bottom, right? It's like this energetic rock bottom where you're just like, I give up. Like, and not like I give up. It's a different kind of giving up. It's like, man, like something's off here. Like, I need to work on myself and not be focused on finding another person. Be focused on yourself.
Like, and on my path, that's currently where I am, is I'm very into my priestess role right now. And that requires me to be almost a hermit.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of things that I'm learning and doing and being and researching and learning about myself. So after I did that love spell that I did, it was kind of a good thing, because it showed me exactly where I needed to be.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is I did it, and it wasn't as an understanding energetics, as an energetic practitioner. I will say though that my spells do work.
Oh, mine do too. But like, I learned a while ago that the spells of the love kind are to be avoided at all costs. Like, they're very bad for you. They will backfire every chance in every way they get. And that's on purpose. I guarantee it, because it's like you're asking for the wrong thing. You have to love yourself first, like truly, and accept yourself and all your flaws.
And that's the other thing though that I just learned, I have to say, because like I've been on this path for over 20 years, right? And I'm still learning, and we're always learning, but this one was a big lesson, which is you have to treat your vessel the way that you expect your source to have treated your vessel and to treat your vessel. So when we hear the thing like we're made in source's image and likeness, that means that we have to love it like that, right?
Yeah.
So, and we are source, right?
Yeah, right. I was just gonna say, I'm gonna say, instead of that, I say, remember that you are it. Like, it is you. It is a fragment, like it's God, whatever you want to call it, that is shattered into 8 billion fragments, and each one of them is you and I and everybody else, and we're all here, made of that exact same thing, with these filters on us that prevent us from seeing, typically, the divinity in other people. We see difference, we see different skin color, we see different religions, we see different body types, we see all these things that are different, but at the end of the day, we are literally all the same, coming from the same place. And like, I truly think after, dying and experiencing this, like that the goal here is to come to the realization that despite our differences that are completely cosmetic or physical, right? That those things, that we're all still the same. So if I hurt you, I'm hurting myself, and vice versa. And this is like the one thing, guys, like look at everything in history we've done. We've done wars, atomic, nuclear weapons, etc. Like, done all these things, and the one thing we haven't done is like just fucking been nice to each other and tried to understand each other. Like, that's the one thing that no matter what, who's in charge, it never happens, because literally it's the hardest thing to do, and nobody wants to do the work. They'd rather put all this effort and time into making bombs to kill people than to just say, hey, why don't we sit down and have a chat like people? Like, I don't know, like, I mean, call me crazy or naive, but I'm not. Like, that's actually, if it was
well,
so
Anna, that's
easy,
that's boring. I'm sorry.
Right. I know we don't get to flex our war muscles, right? Like, yeah, sorry, sorry about that. Like, we be nice to each other, stop trying to control each other. Don't give a shit what other people are doing. It's not your business. Worry about yourself. Stephanie, are you frozen?
Are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah.
They cut me out on purpose.
It's the government. It's the government.
It's the government. Where's my tinfoil hat? I need it to protect my thoughts.
Oh my God, look at what I got. I'm so excited. You guys, like, okay, this is so lame, but watch. I got this at the thrift store. I got this hat block. So I can make
what?
The hat block. So I can make more hats, but it's actual one. These are like $500, like, and I got it for $5 at Goodwill. I was like, oh my gosh, I had to have it. So yes, so I was gonna make some. Gonna make.
Are you gonna make me a special turban?
I was gonna make, because I was gonna as a joke, but then I thought, like, oh my God, people might buy this. I want to make hats, because like I make, like, a little fascinator. It's just for fun, like, just have a hobby. And like, I was gonna line it with like a foil on the inside, as like your, because they have like these tinfoil hats for like, all the conspiracy theories, right? But they're like ugly. So I'm gonna make some cute ones that have like ribbons and bows on them and stuff, and like, no one will know you're wearing it. I'm joking, kind of.
Not really.
I'm joking, kind of. I think it'd be cool.
Last summer, remember?
Yeah, I know.
When we had the whole alien thing, we were like, let's put foil inside a hat and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, now I got the hat, like the hat block, the mold of the human head, so I could do. Yeah.
I love it.
Maggie's like, oh my fucking God. Yeah, I was bored, and I was like,
we'll do an alien.
Wait, what? You're cutting out.
We'll do an alien episode in our foil hats.
Yeah, you know, for the ladies. The ladies
and
can have them.
Also, we have turbans, and I'm bonus turbans. Everyone.
I did.
So
I did buy some turbans.
Yeah. So when we do our next like kick number 3,
yeah,
we'll wear our
You're cutting out pretty bad, Stephanie. What's going on with the computer? But yeah, so let's get to reading cards because it's late as hell. Oh, she just disappeared. All right, you guys, anyone have questions for the tarot cards? I gotta grab a deck, but if you have questions, let me know. I will read them, and then Stephanie will come back on also and do her reading. So put them in the chat. If anybody has a question. One question per person, though. Okay. Maggie, you're funny. I know, aliens. Not aliens. I don't know, man, anymore. I think it's just all the government trying to scare us. I don't even know. Who knows? Oh, what is NLS? Oh, next level soul. Is that one? Have you heard back? There's what kind of? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
You're inside now,
guys.
Okay. Okay. Have you heard back, Shannon? Anything? I'm trying to remember who contacted me from that show. Like, I don't know. It was him. It was this. You know, I don't think it was him. I think it was his assistant or something. So I think maybe you should email the assistant, and I might be able to find that email address for you. Let me grab a deck. I got which deck? Okay, I'll just so many choices. Okay. Okay, firewoman. Cards, money, prayer. Okay, so let's see. I'm not good with time frames, man. Like, so, like, knowing when things are happening and stuff. What do you think?
She said she already emailed him. I gave her a time frame and a reading. I do remember that.
I don't recall but I'm not good at that.
I definitely think she'll be on, but I think she needs to be the squeaky wheel to. But if you emailed them, then it might just be that they're just getting back to
you. Okay. Let's see. Okay.
Quixotic Prancer, yes. It's the money that she's gonna need.
Oh.
Here, I'll put this up. I'm sorry. I skipped over Firewoman, but Firewoman, you're going. Anna's going to answer yours because you said cards.
Oh, sorry. I got zoned out for a second. Sorry about that. Like what I was doing. See. Okay. So let's see if I get anything for that month guys.
You're welcome. And Shannon, oh my God, girl, I know, like knocking down my door, it's so crazy. And it's even worse now because I'm not even like
October.
Not even engaging in it.
October. Yeah, October I got twice. So say October. Yeah. I got October, November, because I got Scorpio, so twice. Yeah.
I'd said that too, like year end, like October, November.
Okay, I got that card twice. Yeah. After shuffling it, like.
Yes, and you will be a guest. Yes, and then we're moving on to Firewoman 5.
Okay, wait, hang on now. See, I got Fire. Yeah, I'm looking right now. Card career. Okay. What's going on with Firewoman?
Maggie. It's true though. She said Stephanie has men and women trying to knock down her door. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
No line. How do you know that, Maggie? I think Maggie's psychic, honestly. I do. Let me tell you that, by the way. So Maggie thinks I'm psychic. Okay. But like, I don't know what to think about that. But like, I'm saying Maggie's psychic because Maggie knows stuff like that. I don't know how the hell she knows it. Like, honestly, a lot more often than I think she realizes. So Firewoman, I'm getting 8 of Pentacles here, Justice, and 4 of Wands. So like, 8 of Pentacles is denoting somebody that's using something that they're really good at, their craft that they're already good at, and using that to like kind of, make money and make money enough to be doing like investments with it later, like, saving money through something you're good at, some skill that you've mastered over time, and then also, but then there's a message here of prudence, which is interesting. I don't know exactly what that means. So perhaps it's about taking a more emotionally detached role in whatever you're doing. I don't know. And then the Justice is like to make sure that your scales are balanced right, and they're not. So you need to stay balanced. And then also the 4 of Wands is like, that's the foundation for a happy home life. So looks like the money that you need to make is going to be found in doing something you're already good at. And I don't know if it's necessarily about, there she goes again, necessarily about finding a new thing, maybe just revamping something you've already done. That makes sense. And then, yeah, because 6 of Cups is about revisiting past. So, like, yeah, it looks like maybe reinventing yourself somehow with something you've already done before. But it looks like if you do that, that's going to lead to having money. I know. I don't know what's up with her internet today, right? So anyways, I hope that helps, girl. Yeah, and then anybody else? I missed anyone else's questions, but money or career, Marisol. Let's see. Okay, Marisol. Okay. But action needs to be taken. You need to take some action here, Marisol. Are you sitting on something? Are you not sure if you're supposed to make a move or something? Looks like you need to be taking some action, and then that ending something. So something needs to end in order for a new situation to begin. So there's something looks like maybe you're holding on to. Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Are we talking about Firewoman 5 right now?
No, that one. So her reading said that something she's already done in the past that she's good at needs to be like revamped, like to kind of reinventing, not reinventing the wheel, but reinventing the image around the wheel to get money that will be very lucrative. I don't know what that means. I still
think she's got a sugar daddy coming.
Well, wouldn't that be?
Yeah, true.
I don't know.
Firewoman. Love you.
Yeah. Will you marry your cat? Yes. You already did. I'm just kidding. I married myself, so that can happen.
I'm in love with my dog. Like, I'm in love with my dog. When I'm away from my dog, I look at pictures of her. It's pathetic. I think about like her kisses and her cuddling. It's
wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know it's crazy. I know.
So hang on, get back to Marisol. Sorry, Marisol. So yeah, Marisol, it looks like you have something that's like that. There's the Knight of Swords. So action with regards to like seeing things as they are, right? Like what's actually going on, like cutting through some like veil of bullshit maybe. And then death. So something needs to stop, needs to be left behind, and something needs to change for you. I'm not sure exactly what that is. Are you still here even? What else? But yeah, I actually found out remember, Maggie? I found out I was married to myself. Remember that? Remember that shit? I'm not kidding. Like I
knew.
What was it for? I don't remember why I had to get some kind of records or something, and I called the courthouse to do it, and they're like, "You're married to yourself. You married yourself." I'm like, "I'm sorry, what?" And they admitted it was an error in the recording. Like I'd asked for a birth certificate. Instead, they gave me a marriage certificate to myself. Okay, right? And I had to pay to get it fixed, even though it wasn't I didn't do it. Like it was such bullshit. I was like, I don't remember either, Maggie. I don't honestly remember what it was, but remember also like, wait a minute. I shouldn't have gotten that fixed because then I couldn't have gotten married. Right? I would have avoided that whole thing.
Would have saved that situation.
Yeah. It's like that could only happen to me. Like that's one of those things like that I'm talking about. Like back in the day where I was like, this is what the hell this only happened to me? Because literally
that is such a magical thing though, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, I was and then the 5 of Wands too is here about there's like it seems like are you struggling right now? I don't know. I don't even know if she's still here, but like seems like there's some kind of struggle going on right now. Like that needs to be overcome. I don't know if that's in your own head or if that's with other people or what, but there's like some turmoil here and that needs to end. It needs to die. You got the death card, so like something needs to change.
Maggie, the next time I'm in LA, I just wanted to get that before it goes in the ticker and I can't see it anymore. I will definitely hit you up next time I'm in town.
Oh, girl, dude, that's okay. that's awesome. Okay, so yeah, I got literally the death card. Death here. So I guess that's a double meaning here, meaning that something needs to end for a new beginning, but then also the new beginning is in death. Okay, awesome. Yeah, and then 10 of Cups. This is actually just you are gonna find exactly what you've been looking for in this. Like 10 of Cups is like wish fulfillment, right? Like that's exactly what you want. The struggle that needs to have, this is gonna be like those struggles are gonna be gone. Like that's gonna be all behind you. So that's what you should be doing. This is like your calling. I feel like this is something that you need to pursue. It's what you're supposed to be at, dude. You got 4 of Wands. This is like your foundation for your finally having like the stability and the pay that you're worth. Does that make sense? Like being paid what you're actually worth with less work. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna say this, like, and people can get mad at me all they want. I don't give a shit. Like when you get to a certain point in your life, like people will like if you're working less and making more money, people are gonna shit on you about it. Okay. Like I get that all the time because like, you know, I'm a professor and I make decent money. Okay. But I mean, my work hours I make 18 hours a week. Okay. And I still make what I would make working 60 hours as a high school teacher, right? Like 18 hours. Yeah, I worked that hard to get here. Like that's the goal. The goal is to go to school, work hard so that you don't have to work so hard, so that you can still make money and not work so much, right? Like why is that a bad thing? You're going to be there, Marisol. Like that's what you're headed towards, okay? And so like this is the goal. It's never the goal to keep working till you're to the bone to make the same money. Like that's nonsense, okay? So
that's never the goal.
And that's haters saying stuff. Like I'm sorry that you might not have the same work ethic that I have, right? But my work ethic has been hardcore. Ask anybody that knows me. Like to say that I don't work I don't earn my money because I work less is insanity.
You look up grind like like grind culture or whatever you want to call it. Like that's Anna in the dictionary. I swear to God, her and her boyfriend. Like they're on this different level. Like I'm a manifesting generator human design type and I have like a bunch of projects going at the same time, but they take it to a whole new level.
Dude, my boyfriend takes it way worse than me. It's awesome. I like love it. I'm so about it. I'm like, you do it. You go. So I love that shit. I like that's one of the things that makes me like so oh my God, it's amazing. Yeah, like but that's where you're gonna be at, Marisol. Like you break your back. Yep, that's exactly right. So this is this. Don't let other people tell you anything. Like again, like this is your life. You leave it. I don't give a shit what other people say. You need to ignore that. Seriously. Okay? For reals. Because like this is what you're supposed to be doing. And you're gonna find a lot of it's gonna be hard. Like so this is gonna be working your back, working to the bone in a different way. This is gonna be working yourself energetically sick, right? Instead of physically. Does that make sense? Like, it's gonna
it's the catalyst to make you understand how to do this. It's like it literally had to happen so that you would slow down enough to learn it.
Yeah, that happens. We will be working. Like that happened to me. Like, remember when my arm went paralyzed? Like I paralyzed myself for 8 weeks.
I paralyzed myself.
It was awful. It was so scary, but I needed it because I needed to slow down. I needed to take a break and it forced me because I wouldn't have done it on my own.
I love that we have people from all over that talk to us. I have to tell you guys that. I love seeing you guys in the chat, and thank you for being here with us and connecting.
I know
with
we're
us.
way over time today. So we missed the last 2 weeks.
Who cares?
Yeah, we missed the last 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks. We were on spring break.
Yeah, spring break and other stuff was happening. I don't know, but we are. But we missed you guys, and yeah, and then also I was finishing up my degrees, and I'm not done, guys. I have 2 more I'm still working on. So yeah, so I'm a little bit out of control. Maybe I might have an addiction to academic degrees.
Are you kidding right now? That's hilarious.
It is 2 bachelors, 3 masters, and at the end 3 PhDs. That's a lot. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot. But hey, why not? I got time. I'm making time.
We're having such a good combo. I know, guys. I love it. Yeah, I'm enjoying this tonight.
Yeah, let me know. Is there anything you guys want to talk about? Anything else?
Later, and I won't freeze as much and drop off. I had to fix it because I moved again.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh yeah, you moved again. Yeah, you did.
I moved again. I moved into my tiny home. And I thought a 5G gateway would be the way to go, and it's not.
What the hell? Mine works perfect. What's wrong with yours?
Mine is every time they fix it, it's not working.
Who fixes it?
Area. It's T-Mobile. So I'm going with a faster internet with Wi-Fi and all that here this week. So
that's man, mine's so I'm in the hills, right? And I get nothing on here. Even the hard line one is terrible. And I got the T-Mobile hotspot one, and it was perfect. Even came with the modem on the go. So if I need internet in the car for my kid, because God knows they need internet, right? Because they gotta have them on tablets. That thing, they gave me this. This is internet in a box, and it gives Wi-Fi. So wherever I go, I just turn this on, and it makes
I asked for that, and they told me it wasn't good enough. When I asked the girl, she said the 5G gateway was better. But then I was like, you know what? Screw it. And somebody asked Starlink, and no, I haven't looked into Starlink. I'm actually I'm just doing Xfinity Wi-Fi, like the cable Wi-Fi.
Oh my God. So that's what I got rid of, because they were charging me $400. $400 a month. They were charging me $400. Start off $100, and then over time, they just, man, I'm not joking. I am not kidding.
I won't pay over $100 for it.
Yeah, no, the first year will be fine. And then cable companies are weird, right? They'll give you.
That's why you always call them and say do you have a? Ew, I hear cats having sex right now.
What?
You call them and you ask for whatever promotional thing they have. Do they have any promotions to hook you up? Because if not, you're changing companies. I do that all the time.
Yeah, I tried that with Spectrum, and they wouldn't do it.
String cup and string. I know, right? That's where I'm at right now. Oh, you guys, I swear to God. Yes, that's what's happening. It's me and Magic Mike. Oh my God, Shannon, I swear to God.
Y'all sex crazy. Y'all cray cray. I am.
Y'all cray cray.
Oh my God, my virgin eyes, please stop. Can't take it. You guys are corrupted. Yeah, so let's see.
Right,
yeah,
well,
but I gotta
hour 2, so
yeah, I gotta get going. I gotta do
I gotta go have dinner.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay, Maggie, that sounds like a nightmare to me right now, because I will never have pets again in my life. Will never happen. I used to have 8 cats. Don't. It's bad. They were mine. None of them were mine. They were all my ex-boyfriend's cats. All of them. And I got, people just, pawing cats off on me, man. It happened a lot. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You had 8 cats, but you know what? We'll have to have that story shared another time. But
yeah, no, I don't want to.
Definitely do need to share about the, Oh,
That's called irresponsible boyfriends. That's what it's called. That's what it was. It's not me. It's not me.
Oh, as a ringtone, Maggie? No, it's a cackle, girl. It's not a laugh. It is a straight up cackle. I swear to God.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well,
All
we love
right.
you. Thank you guys for
Love
hanging
you
out this
all.
long. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week. Okay.
All right.
Ciao.
Good
Bye, guys.
night.